mada. Specioza Wandera mada. Betu Okwir wando mari mada. Ima Cecilia don't mari mada. Then munda madam down. I wonder if you would team or be a two-in-one. Dura me cookie o me a dua con me ngokara. Okay, no go down, no put it down right back. And no put it down, they call you move it up at the woman. Me cookie o me a dua con me ngokara, you are in. Okay, no go down, no go down right back. And no put it chicken, they call you move it up at the woman. Your Rubeba, that will be weird. Ini no tokero kwa kone ko yumo kuda pete kumo ene kunga romane ko yumo kuda pete kumo pe ko bateri upore kinu kene Ini no tokero kwa kone ko yumo kuda pete kumo ene kunga romane ko yumo kuda pete kumo pe ko bateri upore kinu kene Dako pili Adere do kereting Pour me petit nous fait donc même à ton coin on joue ma tino qui va faire les cookies tout pili Je me ne wa pour le wa bien quoi ou pour qu'on me petit nous fait donc même à ton coin on joue ma tino qui va faire les cookies tout Akari kuri puru oranga mira kwaka Akari kuri puru nino kom mira kwaka Akari kuri chong ngor mira kwaka Katu ulo maoki o chwalo me kota krikacha Akari no mira kwaka Katu ulo maoki o chwalo me kota krikacha ko biene te won mod What is the agriculture officer? Then no don't eat no. We don't got them come down a word. Mandani Okwir, as well as Japan. The office of president. You are company, good evening. We good tomorrow, I can no don't know. Go back on your father to know. As one president, a worry, lounge, or any Yabaloranga, who never go to Timberi qualification, Peco and some people who do Balapena, Kafka, you never join the one logic you are willing. As one president, worry, lounge, or any Yabaloranga, who never come to Timberi qualification. Peco and some people who do Balapena, Kafka, you never join the one logic you are willing. A man of Tito Wotumaba, President Dongagoyo, Jimdo Goba, Hello, Specioza Wandera Kazibwe. Why are you calling them? You could be about the pen again. I don't know, Mother. You know, I don't know about the Jim about a thing. But where I am. Hello, Specioza Wandera Kazibwe. Why are you calling them? You could be about the pen again.
Yo camarón, el quinto wa como me dice. Yo camarón, no mando el que guay. Yo camarón, viene que le uruba. Yo camarón, mando el que lo huele guay. Yo camarón, y mi romando, viene que la tumbo. Viene que lo agua. Viene que la
Now, I don't really know how to start because I will also say that if I had come here when Cecilia was looking for votes, you would have booed me very seriously. But I'm very glad that as Ugandans we are indeed becoming very, very mature. But I wish to start by apologizing for arriving late, because when Cecilia told me that she wanted me to come and launch this association and the fundraising for the municipality schools, I had a program where I'm moving all over the country to meet leaders to talk about modernizing agriculture, and I just arrived in Kampala last night from Port Porto. And that's why I really arrived late, but I am battling near of Dr. Seka of trying to be on time all the time. When we started this function of Thanksgiving, the preacher started with words that intrigued me a lot. You know, we Catholics are not good at reading the Bible. And my sister Cecilia Ogwal has been inducted by the charismatic, so she knows how to read the Bible. So she was repeating for me what the preacher said. What is it you have that you have not been given? What is it you have that you have not been given? When I heard this statement over and over again, I looked round and I said, what is it I have that I have not been given, but I will be given today? If you look at that line there, the Chamusis, the Ben Watchers, my brother Patrick Monda, but most of all my sister Cecilia Ogwal. She is what I have been having, but I had not been given. Here. That in her diversity of thinking, her style of thinking about politics is indeed very movement. Because if you don't have the likes of the city of Ogwal in the movement, you don't have a movement at all. Because some people put the movement in compartments, and it's because people have not internalized it. If you ask me what party I belong to, when this Rianda Komaketio introduced himself as the national leader of the Democratic Party, I almost asked him which delegates conference elected you. Because the last time the Democratic Party had a delegate conference, I was elected as the national woman mobilizer. So how can Rianda Komaket claim that he's actually the national youth leader of the Democratic Party? So while we come to you as the people who elect us to lead them, we would like you to know that as you stay here in the Lira Municipality, banging each other's heads, doing all sorts of things, for us in Kampala, we are talking about Uganda. Many times when you hear the negative, it is only because politicians are very much, they license these microphones. Even when they say nothing, they want the press to report. That's why you hear more Bukendo Vichamus talking about many things that are nothing sometimes. But when we get to Parliament, and we are talking about issues that affect us as Ugandans, we do sit and talk, even at personal level. So I'm appealing to you, the people of Lango. Even if you didn't give your vote to Museveni, Museveni is the president of your duly elected government. And I would like to correct Honorable Omara Atubo here, who said your government. It is also your government. It is our government. So that if there is a problem, let us look at it as our problem. If it is Karimojong going to disturb the people of Otuke, let us look at it as our problem, all of us. Not the problem of their government. Because to the people of Otuke, you are the government. Because you are the one they sent to Kampala. So in sitting down to look at the problems of Uganda, we shall indeed be able to solve very, very many problems amicably and be able to move ahead. I wish to say that politics is just a way of organizing people. so that each one of you with your talent can come out to participate in developing the country. And I wish to say that it is criminal for anybody, because they did not support a leader who is present, to deny their people development. In other words, I would like to call upon all those members of parliament who got elected on a multi-party ticket, that we are your president, the vice president, the ministers, and invite us to your constituency. Don't fear to let us come to your constituency. I have been visiting Ashodi quite a lot. And at one function I was accused by a member of parliament from there that why are you visiting Ashodi so much? Why are you coming to the campaigners? I told him that my constituency as Vice President of Uganda is all over the place. It is in Otuke, it is in Noyam, it is in every constituency in this country. So when you see us coming to visit or to make sure that our government programs are being implemented, don't think that we are coming to campaign you, because the politics of Uganda has changed. The politics now that will make people elect you to the LOC1, LOC2, LOC3, LOC4, LOC5, to parliament, to the presidency, is politics of development. So that no more can you deceive Ugandans that it is because this is a movement government that you cannot have development in your area. You wait for our government of UPC or DP, then you get development in the area. But democracy is democracy. What if the government or the party or whatever organization your person believes in, what if they don't come to power in the next 50 years? The life expectancy of Ugandans is only 48 for the men and 53 years for the women. So if we keep on waiting and waiting to bring development to our people, I'm sure we shall be doing them a lot of injustice, and we should not be in a position to say that we are leaders. I therefore want to commend my sister, Cecilia Ogwal, because she came for me in my house. We live in Ugolobi. We live in my billion mansion house, which is at Specioza Roof. Is where she came very early in the morning, and she said, here I am, just look at Lira Municipality School. Grand start with this UPE. Even if government is saying it will do ABCD, this areas like Lira Municipality will even need more affirmative action. And I did talk to the Minister of State in charge of implementing the UPE program, and I detailed him exactly what Cecilia Ogwal said. I said, when you are giving out iron sheets, when you are giving out cement or timber or nails, don't distribute it the way you are doing in Tanzania. Because in Tanzania, every constituency gets 30 million. Luckily enough, this government knows what it is to give people affirmative action. And the Minister of State said he is going to implement that. And the reason why I don't have his donation here is because he said they have to sit again so that they look at the country and see those districts with schools that have temporary structures, that have no structure, that have had problems, to be given affirmative action even within this implementation of the universal primary education. So I would like again to thank you, Cecilia, because I have been consulting you on a number of issues that pertain to our development, and you've given me very many ideas. And on top of that, in the CA, you told me, my dear Specioza, my sister, anything to do with women, I will support you. Anything to do with the parties, there we move apart. Now, I would like to ask a question and say, which way Uganda, which way are we really going to move? Because even as we talk about UPE, it is a program that is welcome. It is a program we should all support. But as a government, what are we doing to make sure that this UPE which we have started is sustained? And that's why in President Museveni's manifesto, he talked about modernizing agriculture. In my moving across the countryside, I have been telling the leadership the areas that the center will involve itself in, while the district also concentrates on particular areas. Our people depend on agriculture. If we are to modernize, we cannot just select food industries here without making sure that their place, which will make the industry sustainable, is not rejuvenated. So we are saying that even if the biggest problem in agriculture is the market, we know that we can look for the market if we organize our production, if we organize our road infrastructure, if we organize the marketing information, so that our people, when we tell them to go to produce, they know exactly that they will market and they will get value for their labor. So the ministry is saying that the 4 critical areas that we must address as a country to modernize agriculture, or the production part of agriculture. The first one is water for production. The gentleman here who was praying alcohol talked about food security. That this man beat me for cassava, beat the wife for cassava, there must be another reason. And then another group here from Moroto, but they are Lira Municipality, but originating from Moroto. They were also saying the government should ban the drinking of Lira. So it means the population is already moving ahead. The people in the villages know exactly what the problems are. But we know that if we depend on rain-fed agriculture, we shall not be able to modernize, because the moment we get drought for 3 months, then we put our arms in the air and say there is a famine, there is a famine, there is a famine. So government is going to look at the critical issue of making sure that dams that have silted are disputed and new structures are put in place, and also to propagate the technology of small-scale irrigation. The next issue that we must have is planting and stocking materials. Because once you have water, but you are using your traditional seed, which yields very slowly, and you put in all your energy, even if you irrigate, still your yield will be low. So we are asking the districts to make sure that they identify people who will be seed growers, people who will have ponds where we shall be stocking seed so that other farmers can get this dry. People who will be the centers as full insemination centers in the rural areas, so that we can move as fast as possible on top of artificial insemination to get the breeds that we have in the countryside made better, so that they can produce more meat and also more milk. In this area, while we talk about wool, I know when I met the members of parliament from this area, they also know what is going on. And they did float an idea that, Madam, while we are waiting to say that government will restore, why don't you just come up with a loan scheme where you give a pair of oxen to each family, they plow and they put it back so that it starts revolving. And I feel that this is a very, very good process. One area which we must resolve is, where do these oxen come from? I know the biases that have gone on. It happened in Teso, when we wanted to get the cattle from Ankole, and the Teso said, those cows are very weak, they can't feed, they are just too weak. But it happens that the type of breed that we have in abundance is actually the Sanga breed with the long horns. I can assure you that the climate here in the Lira, I just come from across the lake in Busoga there. These animals are digging. I even got them and experimented with them recently myself in my constituency, and they are doing a very good job. So if we are to move this mentality of saying the long-horned cattle cannot dig will have to go out of people's minds. I think we shall have to recruit our cultural performers to educate the population that when you have a long horn, the energy has not gone in the horn, it is also there in your leg and in your chest. The other issue which we shall address is the issue of disease control in both animals and crops, and we shall also concentrate a lot on training farmers so that the research that we have done gets to them through the extension workers. I would like to submit that the constraints are many. When we talk about implementing these programs, the UPE, the modernization of agriculture, people just look at the task and say it is impossible. But I want to tell you that for some of us, we never say never, and we never say nothing is impossible. And I'm going to move county by county, meeting the leadership with the extension workers and all the leaders in those districts so that we turn ourselves into extension agents. Because if each of the LOC1 executives on the village, plus the executive of the Women Council, the executive of the Youth Council, 9 plus 9, 18 plus 5 people, that is 23 extension workers on each village. I know that we shall be able to move. It's a matter of knowing what kind of crop are we going to propagate as a cash crop in this area. Mama Tim was saying popularize rubber. So we just need to tell those people if we are going to have rubber, we teach them how to grow rubber, and each one of them goes teaching a farmer how to do it. And I believe that within a year or two, we should have popularized all those crops we know are of value and will bring benefits to the population. Since time is going, I want to end by thanking you for having cast your vote in a peaceful manner. You better clap for yourself. You know that constitution vote. Because usually Mr. Ogwal there may have had I don't know how many girls whom he was wooing before he eventually landed on Cecilia. But Cecilia must have used her trick, and Ogwal left the other ones and went for my sister Lira. But the people who don't understand competition are the men. If a man sees another man courting his girlfriend, oh, that is really war. That is why men think that women, polygamy is normal. It is just that we understand the dynamics of society and how to live, even if all of you are zeroing in on this man and all of you have your different interests. You can live in the same compound. You will quarrel, you will do whatever, but you all zero in on this man. So the man we are talking about now is Uganda. So whatever happened during the presidential elections, as far as some of us are concerned, it is very normal. Because also if you have a boyfriend and there are no other girls, you wonder whether this boyfriend is worth having after all. So we would like to tell you that whoever you voted for, feel very free to air your views. And I would like to call upon the leaders to give people this freedom. Because if people keep quiet, you can never know exactly what they think. You will never know whether what you are doing is right or wrong. And we are saying that under the Constitution, the movement gets everybody, and it enjoins each one of us to contribute to the development of the country. And I want to assure you that whatever happens here, the president is not going to say that those people didn't give me vote. In fact, this morning I told him that I'm on my way to Lira, and he said, send them my greetings. And I wish them all the best in what they are doing. You know, this is a very positive way for us to start. And it is not by accident that it is starting with the headquarters of UPC here. And it is not by accident that it is the mother who has led the way to say, let us start, we must move. So I get down onto this Lira Municipal Development Association. I want to echo what the chairman LC5 said earlier, because I know what is happening in the whole country. Members of parliament, some members of parliament are continuing with their committees. It is very true. And these committees are going to be used, are going to solicit votes for those people who are going to stand for the LC. There is no way we can move like this. The challenge is on us to open up and get people to elect their leadership. But I want to commend Cecilia Ogwal. Can you leave Mama name, please, and I want you to come here so that they see the two black abuses who are already shaking them. You come here, we stand here with you about. I know why you are more beautiful than I am. Because I think by the time I am your age, I will be more beautiful than you. Age makes people beautiful. It's like the banana. In Uganda they say that there is nothing which is beautiful when it is old except the banana. So for us we are the bananas which become more beautiful as we grow older. I was saying that it is no accident that we stand here, the two of us, to launch Lira Municipal Development Association. We want this to be a symbol to you, the people of Lira, that the city of Ogwal, Atim, Narongo, and a short multi-party, and Specioza Wandera Kazibwe Narongo, a short movement is. You know, culturally they say that if a Narongo catches you, then you will just die a masikini. But we are here to launch this association, also as a sign to Uganda that the movement does not segregate people who are multi-party, and that multi-parties recognize that the movement does exist, and this is the government which is inoperable with the current government to develop the country. So while some of you are this Thanksgiving is also to pray for this kind of positive thinking, so that at the end of the day, Ugandans will be free to express themselves. But also in that freedom of expressing themselves, they know that they must respect other people's views. And at the end of the day, their ideologies and ideas put aside, they are first and foremost Ugandans. Because this is also a problem we have, in that you have people who are Ugandans, because they are multi-party, they go and talk rotten things about Uganda. Forgetting that those people they tell bad things about Uganda will never be Ugandan. And it's up to us to put our house in order so that we can develop it. I want to congratulate you, Cecilia, and the Wananchi from Lira Municipal Council who actually conceived this idea, municipality. I thank you very much. And I want to Okwir, you bring the cash and the whatever, because when you give back to twins, where are the baskets now? Because now would have baskets where you put everybody who the narrow was always have these baskets are basins of plastic. We 1.5 million. But my people, when they said you take it to Dr. Kazibwe, they thought it was my gift. They didn't know. But they left it in the office. The moment we go back, you will come and collect it from Mr. Kolon. Now, for me, I will launch this one as a Nalongo with $500,000. Honorable, the speaker would have wanted to be here with us, but he lost his father-in-law in Tanzania. But he had sent a check of 200,000, the Speaker of Parliament. And I want to stress that this is launching the fundraising. All of you who have something to give should give, so that we can continue in an affirmative way to do something for this area, which really needs a lot of affirmative action. Insurgency, for getting rebellion, for fighting off Congolese people. And I think, really, you should be given a thank you for what you have been doing. Because when you do that, you save other Ugandans a lot of money which would have been spent in this area chasing away the rebels. We want to thank you very much for working with our sons who are in the army. We know that catastrophes have befallen us even here to our daughters, but we pray to Almighty God that peace does prevail in this region and we work together to develop our country. I thank you very, very much, and we are going to have an Lango Sub, and I would like to ask whoever knows is the multi-party MP to have whoever they know in the movement as I have.
Babu Chiwa Women and Dr. P. Babu Chiwa Women, Boy Ritual, Vice President.